right, since I have a little bit of downtime on my trip in here in Arizona, I've been wanting to put together a top 10 list of rest stops. So 5 things that I like about them and 5 things that I don't or that others might not like about them. I use them, I wouldn't say a lot, but I use them when I'm traveling from point to point or where there's no other areas that seem like something that I want to stay at. I try not to stay at Walmart parking lots. It's just not something that I'm keen on. And rest stops are a great alternative depending on where you are. And I've stayed at them in a lot of different states. So I'll start with the positives. So overall, they're generally, I would say, safe. Because a lot of them are monitored. They do have security going through on occasion, and if anything, there's a lot of people around. Now, I'm not saying that every single rest stop is safe, because I'm sure that there have been issues at rest stops. I mean, you got a lot of truckers, you've got a lot of unknown people coming through, and you never know who's any of those. And most of those people are going to be somebody that doesn't want to be bothered and doesn't want to bother you, whether it's the passenger cars coming through or the truckers coming through. But I'm sure that there are issues, so you do want to always keep safety in mind. But since you are in a high traffic area, and there's usually always a lot of lighting, it's generally safe. And if something does happen, I'm sure if you screamed or whatever, that somebody's gonna hear that and somebody's gonna come and pay attention. So that I think is a huge plus when it comes to rest stops. So the other one is clean bathrooms. I usually hit them pretty late in the evening, and I'm usually gone by 7 or 8 in the morning. And those tend to be the times when they're really cleaning them or have cleaned them up. I've never run into an unclean rest stop, and no matter what state I've been in, at those times of the day. I mean, it's usually a downtime. Traffic's a lot slower. The traffic through there's a lot less. So they have time to clean them up, and they stay clean generally. Even, you know, a lot of the people use the bathrooms to clean up, and I've never had a problem with that overall. So, you know, clean bathrooms are always a plus when overlanding or just traveling in general. And I find that rest stop bathrooms are definitely at the top of my list as the places to go for a clean environment. The other thing is, you know, picnic tables. You know, wake up in the morning, I usually, you know, will make my coffee out of the back of this, which nobody cares about. But if it's a nice setting, which some of the rest stops are, I'll, you know, take my box of coffee and everything else and go set up at a picnic table and kind of chill out and look through my phone, you know, kind of seeing people coming and going, people watching, if you will. But it's kind of nice that you have that, you know, to set up your breakfast in the morning. And then if you've got pets, you know, there's areas to walk around, those picnic areas. A lot of them actually have pet-specific areas. So that's really nice to have as well. Easy on and off highway access. So unlike a campground or a Walmart, you might have to go in and out of roads and take some side roads, and it might not be right off the highway dealing with traffic lights. And the great thing about the rest stop is you can pull right in and pull right out. I love that. And so it literally takes no time to set up to sleep. So that's also a huge plus. And the one I should have named that as the number one is it's free. You don't have to pay anything. You can come and go and nobody cares. There's no camp host. There's no nobody knocking on your window. I will talk to that on the negative side. But it's free, and just stop, stay, sleep, take off. So that leads me to the 5 cons of staying at a rest stop. So what I'm going to do is at the bottom of this, or I might even put a card right here, is there's a list online, there's many lists online of state to state of what you can do in rest stops. Some places you can stay overnight in some states you can stay 24 hours. I think I even saw a couple that you can stay more than 24 hours, but there's a lot of states out there that only want you to stay 3 or 4 hours. It's a rest stop for passenger vehicles or campers. Truckers, I think the rules are different because they're mandated by federal law to rest so long. So they might have the luxury of staying overnight. I don't think those rules apply to them, but they definitely apply to passenger cars and RVs. Now, what I'm about to tell you, that is going to be completely up to you. I've stayed at rest stops overnight where the limit's been 3 or 4 hours. And when I do that, I stealth sleep. So I don't configure everything and move everything up front so it looks like I've got a bunch of boxes up front. I'll put in my felt covers or my Reflectix covers in my windows so it looks like it's just limo tint. I'll pull my curtains shut, and then they can't tell if I'm in there going to the bathroom or if I'm sleeping inside or for how long, unless they're really monitoring the traffic or they've had issues in those rest stops before. And then I might get a tap on the window, and in that case all I literally have to do is crawl out, get in my passenger seat, and take off. It hasn't happened yet. That is up to you if you want to break state rules about how long you stay. But if you're in a camper and you're in those places that are only 3 to 4 hours, you definitely don't want to put out your slides. You know, just keep in mind that what you do affects what other people are able to do. So if that rest stop hasn't had an issue with people taking advantage of the situation, more than likely the security that's going through there isn't going to have a big issue with it. But again, it's up to you whether or not you want to break the state rules as to how long you can stay. Personally, I take the chance, but I don't do anything that's going to cause anybody to raise any eyebrows. I don't leave trash around. I don't make noise. I come in, I put up my Reflectix or my black felt screen or window covers, and I just sleep, and then I get up, hit the bathroom, make some coffee, and I'm gone. So do keep that in mind. That is one of the cons of a rest stop, is from state to state you might not be able to sleep there. So look at that link and make that decision for yourself. The other one, the obvious big one, is the noise. You are at a truck stop. You have truckers coming and going, some of them idling their engines. You even have campers that'll run their generators, which, you know, everyone can, you know, make their own decisions on that. But you know, it is noisy. I don't mind the noise. It doesn't bother me. I'll even, depending on the weather outside, leave my windows down a little bit because I do have the rain covers on them. And if you're bothered by noise, a rest stop, rest stop is not for you, because there's a lot of noise, whether it's just the cars going back and, you know, past you, or the trucks idling and going past you. And then on top of that, there is no, number 3, there's no quiet time. So no matter what time of the night, you know, people can make noise. It's not a quiet zone. So you're going to have, if you're worried about noise, again, you're going to have people talking outside your vehicle because they'll come in groups. You'll have truckers talking to each other outside your vehicle. People will be talking on their phones as they're going by, or like I mentioned earlier, you know, running generators, trucks idling. There's no quiet time, so it's not like a campsite where you can expect to have quiet moments. It doesn't exist, so that again doesn't bother me. So again, I don't mind them at all. So that leads to paranoia. If you're paranoid about people being outside your vehicle, hearing things outside your vehicle, then a rest stop is not for you. People will literally park right next to you, sit in their car to either rest or to text on their phone or do stuff on their phone, and they can do that for hours, and you don't know, you know, what's going on in there or what they're thinking, and more than likely it's nothing. They're just there to chill out like you are. But people will be, you know, I'll have this whole thing blacked out and I can't see what's going on, and there'll be people right outside my Jeep talking, people walking by talking, cars coming and going, trucks coming and going. So if you're the paranoid type and you're always worried about what's going on outside, then a rest stop is definitely not going to be somewhere that you want to stay unless you absolutely have to. Which leads into the last one, which is privacy. So there is no privacy. People can walk right up to your vehicle. There's no expectation of privacy, obviously, other than, you know, just trying to open your door or anything like that. But people are going to walk right by your spot. That spot is public, and you didn't pay for it, and anybody can walk by it, talk by it, stand by it. So privacy is not going to happen at a rest stop. Now, a lot of times, you know, you can find that nice corner, either on the entrance or at the exit, and no one's going to be around you the whole time. But sometimes I'll have to park in the middle, or I'll just feel more comfortable parking in the middle because it's a lot more lit up, and you get a lot of traffic through there, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people talking. So so let's go over the 5 positives and cons. And so for the positives, it's safe, it's free, clean bathrooms, picnic tables, and pet areas, and easy on and off for highways. The cons: noise, paranoia, possibly, time limits, no privacy, and no quiet time. So 2 bonus ones that are positives, because there are, to me, more positives than negatives. At these rest stops, a lot of times they'll have literature for those areas in that state. I've picked up plenty of state maps, plenty of literature from these areas, so it's kind of an all-inclusive type thing. You've got your bathroom, you've got your sleep time, and I can pick up literature there to learn about what I want to do maybe later that day, because 9 times out of 10 when I wake up in the morning, I don't know where I'm staying that night, and I don't even know what I'm doing that next day. So it's great, and I've stopped at a lot of cool places just because I've stopped at rest stops to sleep and then picked up literature on my way out. And then the other one is you're on pavement. So unlike a campsite or a BLM site or pulling off on the side of a trail or anything like that, there's been plenty of times where I do that and it's either super dusty or it's muddy, or I'm just, I've got to make sure I take off my shoes before I get inside, which I do anyway, but I don't have to worry about knocking them off. I'm on pavement, and it's great to wake up and just throw on my shoes and then walk on pavement, and then also do the same thing. When I get back in, I can take off my shoes without having to knock off a bunch of mud or dust or anything like that. So to me, that's a bonus. It's nice. Of course, you don't have the beautiful environment, but in a pinch, when I'm going from point A to point B, a rest stop, to me, I look for them. I enjoy staying at them, and they work. So make up your own mind, but if you do stay at them, know the rules, and just respect the environment like you would anywhere else. So that's it. Leave your comments below if I missed anything, positives, negatives, maybe your experiences. I've been on the road 6 weeks, maybe going on 7 weeks, but even before I started this particular overlanding trip, I would hit them in Virginia or Maryland or West Virginia when I was traveling between Pennsylvania and North Carolina. So I've used them a lot, and that's just it's my preference over other areas when I don't have anywhere specific to be. But that's just me. So hopefully this helped you out, and like I said, leave your comments below, subscribe, like, and thanks for watching.